Hello, awesome patrons. I hope you're doing well. I have to apologize for my voice. I am not fully recovered, but I feel well enough today to finally do a sketchbook tour. I haven't done a lot these past few months in my sketchbook, and I have brought in two other books because when I had little tiny windows, sometimes instead of reaching for my sketchbook, I worked in this book here, which is 365 Days of Art. It's just little prompts to get you started. So I'll be talking about that at the end. And also, I have a sort of like another book um, on the go. It's not really a sketchbook, it's a watercolor journal by Moleskine, but I don't really like the paper, so I kind of use it as a catch-all slash anything goes art journal sketchbook, I guess. So, so here is the main sketchbook. I'm recording this on an old iPhone. Okay, just wanted to see if I was still in frame. I'm gonna try not to edit too much. So these are my usual sketchbooks, are the ones that I prefer the most. They're by Pierre Belvedere, and I get them locally from a bookstore. I will leave the link in the description or in the post. So I started this back in August, would you believe it or not? And I never quite know how to start a sketchbook. So I just decided to write the month and added some doodles with a green pencil. I like doing these tendrils, as you know, I've done them quite often. It's always fun to also shade. So, and then of course, I got my signature gold sun here. This is the July sketch for the Owl Book project. This is how it looked like unpolished. As you can see, I wasn't sure about the placement of the sun. This was the original one. Then I was thinking of having three. I ended up removing these two and just kept this one. And you can see here, this is just a little thumbnail to indicate that I wanted to have a door that opens. Let's just bring in the book here again. And so I ended up installing it right here in the middle. So this is the last, or the original artwork, the finished artwork, I should say. I always have color swatches. This is for the was it September? No, August. The color swatch for August. This is how I play with the colors. So this is the beginning of making sure that all the colors relate to each other well, that sort of thing. And then for that month, I went on Pinterest and I kind of took four photos as inspiration, and these are just like very quick rendering of what I was seeing, and I ended up doing a mashup of all of these four for the final painting, which is this one here. You'll see more of this in the next pages. So this is the finalized color scheme. And here is just playing around with water lilies. I ended up not doing anything so detailed, but it was fun to do. And then sometimes in between, I do something else because I don't think this was finalized. Hang on for a second. Yeah, so in between it's broken down. I actually did this while Lucy was visiting me last August. So this is a plein air session. It was beautiful. It was a gorgeous day. We sat by the water on a picnic table and we sketched what we were seeing. This is my lavender pencil that I like to use when I sketch, and just going with just the paint. This was across the water from us, so I was just basically just painting what I was seeing. I don't know why I'm explaining this. It's quite self-explanatory. Oh, here's just more swatches of colors. I don't like to throw away what I work on, because it's always good to refer to them. You'll never know when something will spike or will inspire an idea. So this is, you can see how a sketch changes from the first iteration of an item, and then how it's transformed or put together in the final project. But this is the main water lily, or the lotus flower. I don't know how we call those. I guess they're water lilies. I don't know. Yeah, these are lily pads, and this is a water lily, isn't it? Yes. And so this is the final rendition of that. And you can see here, oops, hold on. You can see here, like, this is a very rudimentary sketch of the final painting. I really like, I think this one is probably my favorite of all the owl pages that I've done. And this is the quote. And we have some random flowers with color blocking in the back. I have to cough sometimes, so if you hear like a muted segment, that's because I was coughing. So yes, I was just drawing with a pencil, and then I ended up adding color blocks. I like this. I like the contrast of the pencil sketch and the color, like a solid color in the background. I like this one. Very variegated. Very cool. I think these are Kramer Pigments paints. Yeah. This was also a session that I did while Lucy was here. I was just basically practicing my portraiture. It's not my main thing, but I always like to include 1 or 2 pages of portraits in my sketchbook throughout the months, because it's fun to do. But yeah, I just took some random references from Pinterest. And it's just some random flower swatches. I don't know why. But it's in there. And this is a set of forest animals that I intend to paint for my grandchild's bedroom. I still haven't gotten around to it. I'm behind so much. This was supposed to be his birth date, kind of like, it was for the nursery before he showed up. Christmas is coming. It was supposed to be then for Christmas, and still haven't gotten around to start. But at least I have the thumbnails of the sketch, so I'm going to do 5 animals. Oh, we have more sketch of the water lily painting. I guess I was undecisive for a while. This is the quote for the September Owl book project, and this is the beginnings. So isolating the colors, playing with the different colors, which one I liked best. Very quick thumbnails. This is mainly to see how the colors interact with each other. It's not the best of paper to test that out, but it still gives me an idea. This was just some random, I guess I was cleaning my brush. I must have been swatching something, and I just wanted to get rid of the excess paint. Sometimes I do that. And this is the real color swatch for the September project, with some notes. What September means to me. I was jotting down some ideas because I had not isolated the main focus for the September, or the theme, I should say. I ended up going with the apple tree, and so I wrote a list here. It's funny because it's the last idea, because I wrote here birthdays, because in my family everyone's in September. A gift, the gift of nature, fall, beauty, beautiful sunny days, school, learning, a fresh start, time to regroup, colorful, warm colors, nature, earth, apples, and orchard. So that one stuck to me, with me. And this is the beginning of the sketch, and just to show you the difference. So the tree was more towards the left. The sun was on the horizon. I didn't have much happening here. I had a butterfly. I guess I could have done the butterfly. And the border, I wanted to have the border. And this is refining the artwork. So finally I have the idea of a window. It wasn't taken literally like that, but I think looking at the frame you can probably imagine that it could be a window. But I really wanted the window at some point. I kind of let go of that. And again, notes, how to draw an apple. The tree looks more like the tree in the final illustration. A little bit more refined. So what I started doing is taking the sketch and reworking it digitally, or if I see that I'm not going anywhere, and mind you, this was done like at the very beginning of my busy time, and so sometimes I didn't have a lot of time to play with the actual sketchbook. I take my iPad with me quite often, if I have to go to my daughter's. So I've taken a habit now to sketch on my iPad, or to refine the sketch on my iPad. So most often I will start sketching, I will take a picture, and then I work the rest in Procreate. And this is definitely what happens for the October, which I'm still working on right now. And this is the October color swatch. I'm sorry, my brain is so fuzzy. I have had a bad case of brain fog during COVID, and I still can't taste my food after a week. But yeah, so I'm looking for my words. And yeah, I still haven't played with the colors yet. I'm not there yet. I'm still, believe it or not, working on the sketch. I thought I was done, and I'm not. So yeah, anyways. Oops. Oh, these are the colors of a Kramer pigment set that I bought at a local store. I'm very happy to see that they're carrying that brand, Kramer Pigment, because I've always had to order from the US. So now I can get it here, but in sets. So I bought this set for my birthday 2 months after, but still. And then I think I shared this with you. Yeah, I did. It was just a little painting with these colors, with the Kramer Pigments color. And this is the Patreon video for the $20 members and up. I really, really like how this turned out. The little patterns that I've included in the grass. Hopefully my phone will pick it up. And this is the beginnings of the October, yeah, the October sketch that's coming up. So that's all that I've done here in my sketchbook. I'm not going to talk in detail about this project because it's coming up, like I said, but this is how it looks like at its first, at its first stage. I'm sorry. All right, so these are the other two books that I was talking about earlier. I will try to find this on Amazon in case you're interested. It's just a cute little book that I bought from Dessert here, which is a like a local fine arts supply store. And it just gives you prompt, like for instance, here it says color or create a pattern. So all these triangles were empty, and I just decided to color with the Inktense pencils in some of them. Here you had to, so it was all blobby. It was just a blob of color. And then you have to finish these splotches, as they call them, into animals. So it's just like funny animals that I was drawing. When drawing outside, you could choose to focus on a particular elements of a building, perhaps the shape of the rooftops, blah, blah, blah. I decided to do a very weird looking cityscape here. So this was already drawn for us, and that's my drawing on the other side. Here it just said fill pages with swatches of colors. That's what I did. And then here color. So the bowl of fruit was already drawn. It said here color in the fruit, but try not to use the correct colors. Challenge your mind. So they're all like little fun exercises like that. And it's perfect if you don't know quite what to do, and instead of starting out with a blank page in your sketchbook, it just gives you prompts. And you just, go from there. So here on this page, there were just a couple of fishies, and I just completed them, and I added the algaes. Draw someone you know from memory. I tried to do my friend Gigi from memory. I think the only thing that I got that resembles her is the bun top of her head. Draw a collection of vegetables. You could tell that on some days my mind was not into it, but I was kind of like forcing myself to do it. Here, the birds and the leaves were like the base was all colored, and then it tells us to add patterns or details. So that's what I did. Just draw a bunch of like lines, whatever, any patterns. Here, this was fun. Practice drawing the features on the face here. So blobs were just painted, and I just decided to add some features. I didn't do too bad. This one I kind of gave up on the hair. Add leaves and fruit. Oh, I forgot the fruits. Okay. I just added leaves to this tree. And here it was encouraging you to fill in the circles with different colors and see if you liked some of the color combinations. I've discovered doing this page that I do not like a whole bunch of colors for one color scheme. Like these, that's too many colors for me. I like to limit myself. And so that page kind of taught me quite a bit, actually. And I haven't done anything since mid-November in here. It says here, fill this section with flowers. So there's 365 prompts in this book, and I think it's just a cool little book to have. I think there's a second edition of this too, if I'm not mistaken. And then this book here, it's a moleskin. The pages are, they're they're not the best. It's, to me, it's not worth the watercoloring effort. Although it is meant for watercolor, it's watercolor paper, but I really don't like that paper. So what I did was this as a first exercise, and I had to go over all these leaves so many times to get the watercolor the way I wanted it, and it was a bit aggravating. It's fine if you use the watercolor at almost its mass tone and not a lot of water, but it just gets annoying. So anyways, I decided to fill out the page anyways, and then I wrote the quote in here because I didn't like so I didn't like what was underneath, so I decided to hide it by punching a circle and then writing the quote. The first time I did it, I think I painted like a solid circle, wrote in it in white, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe not. I can't remember. And I still didn't like it, so I punched a circle. I think I used... did I use the same? I think I must have punched one out of one of the pages anyways, and then I wrote the quote the way I liked it better. So that's that. And then I did this double spread. This, yeah, there's a lot of history behind this page. This was done during a very stressful time. It was right after my grandson was born, and a lot of things were going on at the same time. And so it was kind of my way to express all that I was keeping bottling up inside, because I couldn't really talk about what was going on. And so, yeah, I'm not going to explain every single little vignettes, because honestly, as I was drawing and painting and on these two pages, I wasn't always aware that I was putting down my feelings. But it always transpires, whether you are conscious of it or not. What you create is a reflection of your internal dialogue, obviously. So some parts are super happy, especially, the birth of my grandson. He's a beautiful human being, and mom and dad are incredible. But, throughout I can see that there's a lot of darkness, a lot of unexplained confusion, lots of confusion in a lot of areas. But a tree always represents growth for me, or life. So I'm beginning to realize that I don't do a lot of artwork that doesn't feature a tree somehow. So maybe that's my signature, I guess, tree and the sun. Of course, the gold sun is here as well. And I was working with the Kramer set that I had, so I was limiting my palette to that. I like it. It's very funky. I like it for what it represents, and not necessarily for the artistic rendition. But there are a few things that I really like. I really do love my little bird that sits on top of this flower. It's very soft. I guess if I were to look at it and try to analyze what was going on, from confusion, a little bit of happy, and then something more peaceful. So I see it that way. And it brings me to, today, which is a much calmer situation. So yeah, I'm grateful for these 2 pages because I had only tiny little windows to work in. Um, and so this kind of work you can stop and go, stop and go. So that was very therapeutic for me. Okay, enough about that. And then the other pages, it's just, again, like I treat it sometimes like a sketchbook. So you'll see that I have this tree flower as I wrote. Again, more trees, just some little exercises. Sometimes I just grab a little piece of paper, just so that I'm not idle at my desk, and I just grab whatever is in my paint palette and I'll merge the colors. Um, yeah. So I can't really talk about what's going on here. It's just basically anything goes. Um, okay, here I wrote a bad word here, but I I don't know where I was. I think I was coming back from the drugstore, and I noticed that someone had thrown the something on the ground. Like people are really not mindful. So I wrote "Stop littering for beep's sake." I got upset. This is a set of Jackson's artist watercolor. Jackson Supplies have their own watercolor paints. So I had ordered some, oh my gosh, last spring, I think, and I never swatched them. Again, I swatched on this paper, so it's not enough for me to talk about the paints intelligently. I will be swatching on something else, but I basically ordered a set of warm colors in the primary warms, primary colds, and a couple of neutrals in between. But looking at this, the colors are, I mean, the paints are really nice. They re-wet pretty well. So more to come on that. And then I've done that yesterday. This is the set of Gansai Tanbi, the Art Nouveau set by Kuretake. I had ordered this at the very beginning of the year, I think, and I had never swatched them. So I just played with the colors basically because whatever I was working on was not working to my satisfaction, but I still wanted to finally sit at my desk after a week of not a week of fever basically and not have any energy. I just wanted to get back into the swing of things at my own pace. So I started by swatching these colors, and then I busted them out. I took my favorite paper and I swatched the same colors on the paper, and you can definitely see. I don't know if the camera's going to focus well, but you can see the difference between this paper, which is really not absorbent, as you can see. Gansai Tenbi has glue in their composition, so it's normal that when it is at full mass tone, it's a bit glossy. But if you look at this on this beautiful cotton paper, the colors don't even look the same. They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, the paint is absorbed by the paper, and I don't know. It's just, the paper makes such a difference. Such a difference. So, anyways, that is all that I wanted to share with you. Like I said, I hadn't done one in a while. I'm not going to go back on the reasons, you guys. I've already shared the reasons. So I'm hoping by January I'll have more time to dedicate to sketching. And yeah, I'm trying to take it minute by minute at the moment. I'm not fully back on, like my energy is really, really low. That COVID really did a number on me. A week of fever is like intense fever. and I don't normally register fever for anything. I think the only time I had a fever in my life was when my appendix was bursting. And so that's that. So I was quite shocked to see how high the fever can get with COVID. But anyway, I hope you still enjoyed looking at my work, and I hope you're doing well. Christmas is coming, so it's going to be another energy draining time. I'm trying my best to give you as much as I can, but you've all been so wonderful with your wonderful comments from my last post. So thank you so much for your patience. You guys are the best, and I cannot thank you enough for the peace of mind that you have provided last week. For me, it means a lot. I love you guys so much, and I hopefully will talk to you very, very soon. Bye.